ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। श्लोका नंबर 8 चैप्टर 8। अथ अष्टमोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन् कविं पुराणमनुशासितारम् अणोरणीयान् समनुस्मरेद्यः सर्वस्य धातारमचिन्त्य रूपम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात्। The 8th chapter started with Arjuna's question, and Arjuna asked 7 questions. What is Brahma? What is Adhyatma? What is Adhibhutam, Adhiyajnam, Adhidevam, Karma? The last question was how to remember Ishvara at the end of one's life, and what is its significance. And Bhagavan said that if a person remembers me at the end of one's life, then he will attain me. But it is not possible that one can manipulate with the system and the whole life person lives with materialism approach, and at the end he will remember Bhagavan. Last minute button I press and the Bhagavan will come in my mind. Bhagavan says that is not going to happen. In local exam it is possible, as we saw, that whole year person just plays and last few days he prepares and gets good mark, or at least passes the exam. But Bhagavan says that is not going to happen. He says sada tad bhava bhavitaha. So when a person is saturated with the thought of a given thing, then only that thought will come at the end of his life. And therefore, if you want to remember me at the end, Sarveshu Kaleshu Mamanusmara. All the time, regularly, as often as possible, you remember the Lord. That is why in our tradition, there is so much importance given to Namaswarana. So, remember Bhagavan Nama, not mechanically, but connecting yourself to Bhagavan through the name. Of course, we say that even if you remember mechanically, it will give some benefit. We are not depriving the person of some benefit. But if you remember Bhagavan through the name with alertness, it will give more benefit. It will create the impressions in your mind. And when you have created the impressions about Bhagavan in your mind, the last minute, whatever is powerful thought, that will come. And they say that when you grow older, your conscious mind becomes weaker, unconscious mind becomes stronger. Therefore, you must have seen this one phenomenon that some 30, 40 years back, what you have done, you will remember. The old people will remember. But morning, what breakfast they had, they don't remember. The conscious, the experience, the pleasant experience, they don't remember. What they have done some 20, 30, 50, 60 years ago, they remember. So what is happening? That our conscious mind is becoming weaker and the unconscious mind is becoming stronger. And therefore, throughout your life, if you have chanted Bhagavan Nama or remembered Bhagavan in different ways by Parayanam, by listening to Katha, whatever, then samskaras of this Bhagavan are created in your mind and they will become powerful when a person is leaving the body. And therefore Bhagavan said, Sarveshu Kaleshu Map Anusmara and Yudhyacha. And Bhagavan says, you remember me and do your duty. People say, Swamiji, how can we do two things? See, when whole day you are worrying about something, still you are doing your things. Worrying about your brother, sister, or son, daughter, etc., still you are able to do many things. Whole day you do activities. But in the background, what is there? Worries are there. So if you can keep worries in the background and do your things, you can keep Bhagavan and do your things. So first of all, you should be convinced of doing it. It is possible. And Bhagavan says, do the duty and remember me. And having offered the mind and the intellect, finally person will attain me. Then Bhagavan is talking about the topic of Krama Mukti. In the last class we saw that Krama Mukti means the freedom attained in stages. There are two types of moksha. One is called Sadhyo Muktihi, moksha in this life, freedom in this life by getting the knowledge I am Brahman. Remaining in this understanding, person gets moksha. That is called Sadhyo Mukti, moksha in this life. And another one is Krama Mukti. A person does upasana, some meditation, and because of the strength of meditation, person goes to Brahmaloka, and in Brahmaloka he gets moksha. That is called Krama Mukti. So Mukti in stages. Like in government, there is a direct recruitment and by promotion. So similarly, one is direct. Here itself you get moksha. And other one is that you will be promoted to moksha. In the sense, you will be taken to this Brahmaloka, and in Brahmaloka you get moksha. That is called Krama Mukti. But that Krama Mukti is not that easy. First thing is that you have to do particular type of meditation as prescribed in the scriptures. And You have to saturate your mind with the thought of the object of meditation, like Hiranyagarbha, Virat, or any form of Ishvara. But you have to invoke the total in whatever form you worship, you meditate on. You can take up Ganesha, but don't look upon Ganesha as the one who is having limited body. You visualize Ganesha, but invoke the total cosmic Ishvara. And that particular meditation will take the person to the higher loka, the highest loka called Brahma loka. And for getting that Brahma loka, certain conditions are to be fulfilled. And one of them is person has to remember on that object of meditation, Ganesha, Shiva, whatever it is, constantly. And then person will attain that Paramam Purusham, the highest Lord. And that highest Lord is described in the 9th shloka. Kavim Puranam Anushasitar. So he attains the Lord. What type of Lord he attains, which he has to meditate upon? That is said here, Kavim. The Lord is omniscient. So I look upon Ganesha, Shiva, Dakshinamurti, Rama, Krishna, whatever form I take, but I meditate on the Lord who is all knowing. Kavim has got the meaning Sarvajnaha, all knowing. This is a very beautiful concept given by the Shastra, that Ishvara knows everything. So even they say that ant is dancing, that also is known by Ishvara. When you are dancing, of course Ishvara knows, but your neighbors know. But in your case, in the case of this ant doing whatever is known to Bhagavan. And this is very important to understand that Ishvara knows everything. Therefore, the tendency to have something outside and something inside can be reduced. Many people in front of everybody say, I do not eat sweet, I do not do this. But when people are not there, they eat. Or I don't do this, I don't speak and all. But when they go to the room and they talk on cell phone, now outside this I am maunam. That happens because you think that you can hide from everybody. Perhaps from the local people you can hide, but from Ishvara you cannot hide. And that is also important. When you are doing good things, you may have this feeling, I am doing such a good thing, but nobody knows. So what is the benefit of doing good things when nobody knows? So remember, when you are doing good things, that time that also is registered by Ishvara. When you are doing wrong things, that also is registered by Ishvara. That is why we have story of Kanakadasa. When he was small and he was studying, then the teacher told that I am giving one fruit to everybody. You eat this fruit where nobody can see you. So the children, they what? Not an easy thing. They went behind the tree or the wall or something. The Kanakadasa, he brought the fruit back after half an hour. He said, I did not find any place where Bhagavan will not know me. Bhagavan will not see me. Bhagavan is seeing. Our local security camera, generally what happens? When crucial moment, when accident happens, that time only not working. Or some particular theft or anything, that time only this got working. Whereas Bhagavan security camera is 24/7 without fail. So Bhagavan is what? Sarvajna. Because why Bhagavan is Sarvajna? Because Bhagavan has got a particular upadhi, adjunct, particular medium of manifestation, which is called Maya. So Bhagavan has got Maya as his medium of manifestation. Therefore, the Maya Upadhi makes it possible for Bhagavan to know everything. Kavim. And then Puranam. Bhagavan is ancient. Ancient to show he does not have beginning. Anadi ityartha. Anadi. Bhagavan doesn't have beginning. We are celebrating Rama's birthday, Krishna's birthday. But before Krishna's birthday, Bhagavan was there. Bhagavan got manifested through that particular form. It is not that Bhagavan was created on that day. Ishvara, Bhagavan always existed. That is conveyed by Purana. The modern scientists will, the many atheists, not scientists, but atheists, they will say that God is a creation of man. We say man is creation of God. They say opposite. God is creation of man. How? He said in olden days, this primitive man could not figure out how this thunder happens, like this the lightning happens, and therefore they imagine some divine power. And that is conceived as God. There is no God. It is our own mental projection. What is the proof of God? Show me God. In fact, one atheist in Chennai, he declared in a public meeting, he said, I am challenging God. If God is there, let him come in front of me. I am wait for 3 counts or something. 1, 2, 3. God did not come. So he declared God is not there. What? Have you heard about this? That type of thing happened. He declared in public meeting, one atheist. I don't want to give, some party. So people think that God is only created by man, etc. But those who have got a Shraddha in Shastra and those who can think in right manner, they appreciate that Ishvara is Purana. And in fact, they have studied that those who believe in Ishvara, they will have better physical, mental health. Really, if you see that there is some higher power, then it gives you some mental strength. So even we tell those youngsters who are Nastika, whether God is there or not, but if you believe in God, it will be good for you. One person was a Nastik, he was a agnostic, not Nastika. Agnostic means what? Those who are not very sure that Ishvara is or not. But he used to worship every day. So somebody asked me that you are not sure whether God is there or not. Why are you worshipping? He said, by chance he is there. Then why should I be deprived of benefit? So even by that logic, by chance he is there. So you worship, you don't do much. Just you have to spend few minutes. Anyway, that's that apart. Puranam. Puranam means ancient. And ancient means he is beginningless. And Anushasitaram. He is the ruler of all. So Ishvara rules the entire universe. Because of his rule alone, there is sunrise, sunset, there is monsoon, there is winter, there is a summer. People say, no, no, Swamiji, all these are scientific. See how sunrise happens, sunset happens. You may say some phenomenon like gravity, etc., or the centrifugal force or centripetal force, and all this you talk about. But my question would be, why this gravity is there? What makes gravity possible? That you will not have answer. So that which makes gravity possible, that is Ishvara. That is the order. That is Ishvara. In fact, we had this concept of gravity, and therefore Balaram is called Sankarshana. So Sankarshana, one who is holding the earth. Balaram was the avatar of Ananta, and we say Ananta is holding the earth. And that Ananta has got one name, Sankarshana. It means that we had this idea that by this Gurutvakarshana, this Prithvi is held, this gravity. And for us, every phenomenon is Ishvara. That is the difference between scientist and the devotee. Scientists will call it as a phenomenon, whereas the devotee will call as manifestation of Ishvara. The Gurutva Karshana, the gravity, is manifestation of Ishvara. Ishvara is available as gravity. That is a devotee's approach. So Anushasitaram means he rules over the entire world. Therefore, there is no injustice. Sometimes, if you are seeing only from a very short angle, very from limited angle, then it looks like there is injustice. But in long run, there is no injustice. Everybody has to pay for whatever wrong thing one has done, and everybody will be rewarded for whatever right thing one has done. Because it is Ishvara being as Anushasita, as the is ruler of all. In Hindi they say, Bhagwan ke घर देर है अंधेर नहीं है. Means what? In Bhagwan's house, means in Bhagwan's rule, there can be some delay, but there is no darkness, means there is no anarchy, there is no confusion, there is order. So, Anushasitaram. And Anoho Aniyamsam. Ishvara is subtler than the subtlest. Whatever subtle things, like space, etc., Ishvara is subtler than even space, etc., which is considered to be subtle. And one who remembers that Paramatma, Yaha Smare, this Paramatma, further description is given, Sarvasya Dhataram. One who is the sustainer of all. Another meaning of Sarvasya Dhataram means one who is giving the result of karma to everyone. Karma Phala Dhataram. So whichever God you worship Rama, Krishna, Shiva, Hanumanji, whichever you worship, but finally the result comes from that Ishvara only. And Ishvara has, as we have seen, just now we saw that Ishvara has got his own way of rewarding and punishing. We may not know that how come I got this problem. People ask this question, very common question. Swamiji, in whole life I have never heard anybody, why am I getting so many disease and all this very big disease? Whereas my neighbor is doing all wrong things, he is having good health. Whereas I am doing all good things and I am having health issues. Many times it happens, this man is drinking, smoking, etc. His health is okay, and his wife is doing all upavasa, no drinking, nothing. She gets cancer. So this man will say, see, you are doing all this and you get cancer. And see, what is the use of except believing in Bhagavan? You do all Ekadashi, Pradosha, this, that. So we need to know that Bhagavan has his own ways of rewarding. Sometimes what happens? That our past karmas are in the form of some papam, and therefore this account we are settling, and whatever good karma we are doing, that we rewarded. There is no cancellation system. There is a plus and minus. Both sides will be there. It is not, otherwise we will be have a zero account. So what punyam you do, it will be rewarded. But papam you do, that also is rewarded. And at the appropriate time it is rewarded. So sometimes we might have done some papam in the past, and therefore in this janma we may have to suffer, even though right now we are doing good things. It is something like if you have taken overdraft in the bank, even though you are putting money, still your bank balance will be negative only. Whereas this fellow is withdrawing money, still he is showing positive. Why? Because he had deposited a lot. So in the past you have deposited more, then now even though you are not doing punyam, in fact you are doing papam, still sometime this will run. Your deposit will run. And some people have done this overdraft, and therefore nowadays the overdraft is not there, no? Is that facility there? Okay, in olden days used to have overdraft. So a person had drawn little bit extra by doing papam, and therefore what he has to pay. And thus Sarvasya Dhata. Bhagavan is the giver of the result of karma. It can be looked upon as order of karma. it is a Bhagavan's order, which we present in the form of Punyam and Papam, and there is a justice, because Bhagavan is giving the result of karma. Sarvasya Dhata. In fact, this understanding that Ishvara is karma phala data and he is very just, there is a justice in Ishvara, then we'll be able to hold on to the path of righteousness. Otherwise, when we when we get some challenges, some painful situation, we'll be deviated from dharma. People also will say, "What is the use of following dharma? You are suffering, whereas your colleagues, they are doing all wrong things, they are enjoying, and you also get carried away." But if you know that no, Ishvara is the karma phala data, he will give the result at appropriate time. I trust Ishvara. Then you will be able to remain on the path of dharma. That is the importance of this understanding. Sarvasya dhataram, achintya rupam. His form, his characteristic is achintyam, unfathomable. Means what? You cannot say Ishvara is only this much. That is the idea conveyed by achintya rupam. Like we can say this person's body starts from here and ends there. This hall starts here and it ends there. This mountain starts here and ends there. Like that, we cannot talk about Ishvara beginning here and stopping there, is ending there. That is what is said here, achintya rupam, unfathomable glory he has. So we cannot say Ishvara has got only this much knowledge, this much power, this much wealth. We cannot say. Therefore, achintya rupam. Even when great people, how much they know, that we don't know. Some great scholars are there, like Mani Dravid and all great. How much they know, how do you know? To know what they know, you have to know so many things. And therefore, that is the case about the local Panditas. What to talk about Ishvara? So, Ishvara's glory, Ishvara's form cannot be limited by any measure. Therefore, Achintya Rupam. And Aditya Varnam. Aditya Varnam means Ishvara is effulgent like the sun. So Achintya Rupam doesn't mean that its form cannot be meditated upon. If it is Achintyam, how will you meditate? So we meditate on any given form and we invoke that Ishvara which is Achintya. Otherwise there will be a contradiction. Anusmared. Anusmared means one should remember, one should meditate on this particular Ishvara. And you are telling Achintya. How Achintya will be object of Chintanam? The idea is that you invoke Achintya Ishvara in the form which is available for meditation. Rama, Krishna, Shiva, whatever form. And you say, this Bhagavan is Achintya, is beyond my thinking. Means I cannot measure Ishvara. He is immeasurable. That is the idea Achintya Rupam. Aditya Varnam means he is shining because he is of the nature of consciousness. And Tamasaha Parastat. He is free from ignorance. Tamas means darkness. Darkness refers to your ignorance. Ishvara is beyond darkness. Means Ishvara does not have ignorance with regard to anything. In our case, what happens? If somebody asks some question, we can't answer. Many a times, especially when we ask about some grammar question or some Vedanta question also, people, they do not know. Many things. In fact, there is no field in this world which we can claim to be perfect in. Tell me one field. Is there anybody here who can say, Swamiji, in this field you ask any question, I can answer? Computer science, physics, chemistry, biology, account, whatever field, nobody has got complete knowledge about anything. You always will have some area of knowledge, some area of ignorance. Nobody can say, Swamiji, in this area, I know A to Z, A to Z. Nobody has this. Only Bhagavan has got this status where there is no ignorance. Tamasaha parastat. He is free from ignorance. And ignorance it is in two fields. One is the ignorance in the worldly things called aparavidya, and other is ignorance with regard to Atma Swarupa, paravidya. So Ishvara does not have ignorance in the field of paravidya, higher knowledge, the knowledge of the self, and Ishvara does not have ignorance in the worldly science, worldly discipline of knowledge, physics, chemistry, biology, all of them are known to Ishvara. Ishvara is not ignorant about anything. Tamasa Parastar. And mainly, he has got this Paravidya. Therefore, Ishvara is not confused. Ishvara is not deluded by Maya. Ishvara remains always the what is called knowledgeable about everything, free from darkness of ignorance. So these are the words used for Ishvara for the purpose of meditation. One, the meditator has to meditate on Ishvara in this manner. How? Ishvara is Sarvagnaha, free from darkness. Ishvara is the giver of the result. He is the sustainer. So this is the material for meditation. Because for meditation you require some stuff. Otherwise, see, Rama, 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 etc. it may not be enough. So you require some stuff to meditate on. And that also is provided by the shloka. Now, the person has to meditate throughout his life. And at the time of death also, he has to continue remembering Ishvara. And he has to follow certain conditions. Then only he will get Krama Mukti. Then only he will be transported to Brahmaloka. Like when we have to launch the satellite and all, the rocket and all that, how much preparation? Countdown starts, and then so many preparations, so many scientists, each one will having one parameter they will be focusing, and then it will start. Similarly, the jiva will be transported to the Brahmaloka only if he or she has fulfilled certain conditions. And those conditions are talked about in the next shloka. प्रयाणकाले मनसा चलेन भक्त्या युक्तो योगबलेन चैव भ्योर्मध्ये प्राणमावेश्य सम्यक् सतं परं पुरुषमुपैति दिव्यम्. So here different conditions are talked about. The first condition at the time of death, see what all conditions are to be maintained. The condition described here cannot be maintained by many people even when person are in normal health, normal situation. Much before death also difficult. At the time of death, these conditions are to be fulfilled. All these are mentioned so that you know that Brahmaloka is not like going to Hyderabad or going to Bangalore or something. Say, Swamiji, I have booked ticket. So I booked a Bangalore ticket, this Hyderabad ticket, Delhi ticket. Similarly, Swamiji, I will book a Brahmaloka ticket. What is the price? What is the cost? So don't think like this, that your local currency doesn't work there. Their currency of sadhana only works. And that is said here, prayana kale, at the time of departure from this body. It means the upasaka, the meditator, has to know when he is going to depart. And if he has done sadhana well, he will know it also. Many people, most of the people don't know. But in case of this upasaka, he knows that when his body is going to fall off. So prayana kale. So first of all, the meditator has to know his death of departure. We don't know even death of when we when we depart from Coimbatore, that also we don't know. So we have to know when we are going to depart. So prayana kala. Prayana kala means the time of departure. At the time of departure, what all conditions are to be fulfilled? A person has to have manasa achalena, with the steady mind. First of all, during this departure moment, the mind should be steady, undisturbed. It's very difficult. People feel so disturbed. Oh ma, oh ma, oh ah, like that. Where is my grandson? Where is my son? Where are they? So mind should be free from all such distraction. Not a small thing. That you can do it only when you have done throughout the life. You have withdrawn your attachment from everything else, then only it is possible. Otherwise, most of the time people are worried, what will happen to my son? My son is useless fellow, he will spend money, and all these worries are there. Achalena manasa. Achala means undisturbed, undistracted mind. Then bhaktya yukta. Person has to be endowed with this bhakti devotion. Because if devotion is there, then only person will be able to remember Paramatma at the time of death. Whatever you are devoted to, whatever you love, that will come to your mind easily. That is, you have seen. So you love your son, you love your spouse, or whomsoever you love. Thought of that person comes easily. You don't have to say, let me think about my son now. You don't have to do exercise. It comes. When you love someone, the thought comes. So if you want to remember Bhagavan, you need to have devotion for Bhagavan. Therefore, bhaktya yuktaha, endowed with bhakti. And yoga balena cha eva, and also endowed with the strength of yoga. Person has to do this yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. This Ashtanga yoga strength he has to have. Why? Because he has to withdraw the prana. Prana from the entire body, first of all, he has to withdraw the prana to the heart. And from the heart, he has to raise the prana to Ajna Chakra, Bhruvoho Madhye, between the two eyebrows. See, we do not know how prana is situated, and they have to bring, imagine, you have to withdraw all the pranas to the heart first. And then there is a nadi, Sushumna nadi. Through that nadi, you like a rocket, it's a satellite. It has to be, prana has to be raised and brought here. This is possible when you have done some yoga practice. You have lot of pranayama. You have mastery over the prana. Then only it is possible. Dhruvo madhyehe pranam aveshya. Having entered the prana between the two eyebrows. Samyak, very well. We should not move here and there. Samyak aveshya. Having placed the prana between the two eyebrows. And then remembering Bhagavan. Remembering your upasya. And then tam param purusham upeti. Then this person will go to Brahma Loka and attain the highest Lord, which is Divyam, which is effulgent. When you hear this, you will think, Swamiji, we have no chance. I have no chance. But don't worry, because this is only Krama Mukti sadhana. We believe in Sadhyo Mukti. For Sadhyo Mukti, all things are not required. Sadhyo Mukti, what is required? You attend Vedanta classes, do contemplation, and have Vairagyam from all other things, and focus on your true nature, remain in the understanding of your true nature, then you can get moksha. And even if you don't do all this, still you get moksha. That is called Sadhyo Mukti. That is a consolation for us. Otherwise, if we hear this description, highly it is frightening description. How will we do, Swamiji? Now also I am not able to do pranayama. Breathing is with great difficulty I am doing. With mouth I am doing. So that then how will I do this? Don't worry. This is the description for Krama Mukti. But if you go by the sadhana of this Jnana Yoga in this life, but of course, after necessary preparation, then you can get moksha here and now, and whatever be the condition of your body, mind, prana, doesn't matter. Your moksha guaranteed. The moksha is guaranteed if you have understood and remaining in this understanding what I am Brahma. In this understanding you are, then you are free here and now. So no preparation required. This I have to tell. Otherwise, this will create worries for people. Oh my God, I should not have attended this class. Don't worry, it is not there. All right. Next class we will be having in lecture hall, and the class timing will be slightly advanced, 11:30 to 12. And 12 to 12:45, these Abhanga bhajans are there by Dr. Raghunath Das. He is very popular one. I don't know, but our manager told he is very popular. So he is going to perform. He knows Puja Swamiji and he wanted to visit. So we invited him to perform here. So he will be presenting this bhajan program. So that will be from 12 to 12:45. 11:30 to 12. I said some of Bhagavad Gita class should be there because class is the main thing. So therefore class will be there, and afterwards 12 to 12:45 bhajans are there. You please come. You can inform your friends if they are interested. If they can come at 12 o'clock also, no problem. You did not know, Swami, you have to attend Bhagavad Gita, not compulsory. Either of them not compulsory. If you come Bhagavad Gita, no bhajans also okay. Only bhajans you come and no Bhagavad Gita also okay. You are welcome to attend. So next class will be in the lecture hall. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय